Okay, welcome to another edition of VisionCast Network, where collaboration and technology come together in service to humanity. Now, today's guest is a special person, Sherry Kennedy. She's a certified master life coach. She's an author. She has written the book, Ignite the Light Within. She works with 35 to 50-year-old women, empowering them to live even more of the life that they desire to live. So welcome, Sherry. I'm looking forward to this conversation.
As am I, Christian. So great to be here.
So let's get into this. How did you get into your work? What called you to it? What was the backstory that led you to doing what you're doing now?
I worked in corporate oil and gas for 12
Okay.
years, and I hit my rock bottom. I personally am adopted, and my dream was to always be a mom. I wanted to be a
Ah,
mom,
yes.
child of my own, and I was informed I had a lot of health issues, and I was informed I had to have surgery, which would prevent me ever conceiving a child of my own.
Hmm.
And that was my rock bottom.
Hmm.
That was my rock bottom. I was living a facade most of my life, and that made me realize that truly I didn't know who I was, where I was going, and what my life meant when the last thing I truly wanted to do was ripped away from me. I felt like it was
Hmm.
ripped away from me.
Hmm. So would you mind saying a little bit more about that? Mind sharing a little bit more about how that all came together? And when you say ripped away from you, do you feel comfortable discussing that? Any
Oh,
deep?
most definitely. Most definitely. So actually, my husband and I, we did conceive a child back in 2013, and I ended up becoming severely sick, and we lost our son at 21 weeks.
Wow.
And yeah, I spiraled into a deep depression for years. Actually, my husband and I didn't even talk about it until 3 years later when I broke down. I ended up being 220 pounds. I gained a lot of weight. I turned to food for comfort,
Yeah.
and I lost myself. I lost who I was, what I was, and I dove into my work.
Okay.
I just dove headfirst into becoming the best I could corporately and in my career. And that's where I kept my focus.
And how did that end up for you? How did that work out for you? Really focusing on that corporate drive, externalizing what you were experiencing inside and focusing on corporate. How did that work out and what did you learn?
I excelled in my career. I
Mhm.
definitely excelled, and I moved into the position that I never thought I could get into, but I believed that I can get into. I told myself, because I'm adopted, I didn't know who I am or where I came from, but I always believed that I had indigenous roots. And my husband is indigenous and a
Okay.
background in, and I helped this corporation set up a grassroots foundation in indigenous communities. So I had a dream to actually move into the corporate role within the indigenous communities space.
Yeah.
However, I didn't go to university. I was trade work. I didn't have the background. Most of them are master's degrees.
Okay.
But I told myself I was going to move into that role. And I achieved it. I achieved it because I believed it. And I didn't recognize it at the time. It's now that I've done all the work, the deep dive, and really figured everything out. Your mindset is everything,
Right.
absolutely everything. You believe it, you receive it,
Right.
and that's
Yeah.
that's truly what I know and I believe now, and it's transformed who I am.
Yes. That's powerful. So you climbed the ladder, you achieved great success, and you focused on something. You said, okay, what I can believe and conceive, I will achieve. And you created that success. And then what happened after you had reached this pinnacle and level of success that you so well deserved and worked hard for? What happened after that?
It wasn't the success that I wanted. It wasn't the dream that I was chasing. This role tore my heart apart. I thought I would be helping these communities, and that's not the reality of it. And it was destroying me, and I was at a loss. And that's the same time that I had the surgery, which prevented me to have a child.
Hmm.
And I dove deep. I found Tony Robbins, actually, Tony
Okay.
Robbins, and went all in, went all in, finished the Master University. I'm almost done Leadership Academy.
Yeah.
He helped transform my life. And it's the tools that I've learned, not just from him, that was the where I scratched the surface,
Right.
but I got a life coach. Then I went to school myself while still working to become a certified master life coach because it's my calling. I found
Mm,
who I truly was, and
mm,
I went all in on it. Went all in.
mm. So when you say it's your calling, say more about that, please, because I noticed that lands in your body in a way that is that's expansive. This is your calling. So, what do you mean by that?
I remember when I first got the role in this corporate world, this big oil company, and I
Yeah,
remember my first meeting with my director, and he asked me, he's like, "What's your 5-year goal? What's your plan?"
yeah,
And all I knew was, I know I'm supposed to help people. I knew it's always been I'm supposed to help people.
yeah.
And he asked me, he's like, "Well, I think you're in the wrong role. I think you're in the wrong position. You're not in the right place." And I thought, wow, maybe he's right. But then I thought, no, you can help people wherever you're at.
Yeah.
But now reflecting on that meeting, I'm like, he was so right. I needed to figure out who I was because we truly have the power within. And I want everyone to understand that you don't need anything but yourself. You need to clean your thought process, your emotions, your beliefs, your values so you're aligned so you can stand up as your true self and
Mm.
ignite your light within. I
So I'm
truly,
gonna ask you. So this is the basis of your book, right? So tell us more about your
yes,
book, please. Will you show us the cover, maybe? Show us. I know you have.
yes.
So tell us
So,
about that. Tell us about your book, please. Great cover, by the way.
so ignite your light within, discover your inner spark, radiate your true potential. This was cathartic for me. It healed me from the inside out. And I'll be honest, it took me a while to agree to publish it because I was so open and vulnerable within this
Mm,
whole entire process. But I told myself, I knew that this book has the potential to help even one person, then
yeah,
I had to publish it. And
yeah.
this book goes through some of the difficult times that I went through my life, but those are the most transformative times. And I provide the tools that I pulled to heal myself through those times so other people can do the same.
So there's probably one really potent story in that book. I'm sure there's several, but I bet you there's one that really is calling to you right now in this moment. I suspect that. What might that story be? What's the lesson? What's the takeaway? What's the benefit? What's the value?
You know,
I know I'm
I
kind of putting you on the
faced,
spot here.
yeah, well, I faced a lot of trauma in a short period of time, multiple traumas.
Yeah.
I made an attempt on my life. My
Mm,
parents saved me.
mm,
Not even a month later, I was raped.
mm,
And not even a month after that, I was involved in an attempted robbery. I
mm.
spiraled out of control. I lost everything,
Wow.
my entire will to live. I lost who I was.
Mm,
And I spiraled into drugs, alcohol. I lost myself, hit rock
mm.
bottom.
Wow.
And I remember one night of wild rivalry, wild partying.
Yeah.
I remember waking up the next day and realizing this is not who I am.
Yeah.
This is not my purpose. This is not what I'm supposed to do. And I made a commitment to do whatever it took to pull myself out of that
Mm.
and transform my life. And that's when I completely transformed my life. I moved across the country. I went into oil and gas and just went all in on becoming the best version of myself that I could at the time that I recognized. And it served me. It served what I needed at the time because I was literally at my rock bottom.
Wow. So you are a resilient woman.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So, what would be the most important message you would like to share with other women that may be going through similar situations or circumstances? What is that one important message that you believe will really support them and stepping into more of who they truly are?
You need to love yourself.
Mm,
You need to love yourself. I didn't love myself.
yeah,
I put on masks to
yeah,
be whoever I had to be in order to fit in with the people that I was around because I just wanted to fit in. And I'm done with that. You need to figure out who you truly are, and you need to love every piece of yourself.
right.
So that self-love piece, that's foundational. You need to love yourself.
So I want to play devil's advocate for just a moment and say, well,
Yeah.
Sherry, you don't understand. I have a bunch of kids at home. What's your message? Look in the camera, tell them what's your message. I got a bunch of kids in the home. You don't understand. You don't get it.
You only have one shot. You only have one opportunity to live this life that you've been blessed with.
Mm,
You can make excuses. I made excuses. I used outside sources to ease my pain. We all do. You need to look within.
But
You need to look in that mirror and
I,
look at yourself.
I don't really have the time though. I don't really have the time. You don't understand. I'm like out of time. I'm working like 3 jobs. It's just me. I don't have the time.
We all have the same amount of time. We are all gifted with the same amount of time. It's the choices that you make that determine how your life unfolds.
Yes.
If you choose not to put the time that's going to benefit you, then you're also not serving your children as well. You
Yes.
need to love you.
So how do I get in touch with you? How do I find you?
Well, I'm on social media, on my Facebook. I absolutely love doing my live videos every day. That's just a little piece of my heart. I have a website, igniteyourlightwithin.com, where you can book in. I am a certified master life coach. So I am coaching people on how they can become their best selves. And I'm just here. I just want to serve. I know that I've been put on this earth just to serve.
Yes. Well, Sherry, thank you for serving us and serving me today and all the listeners and viewers. And I really got a lot out of the conversation. So thank you and have a great day. And